You know how sometimes English grammar feels like it's got all these secret, unwritten rules? The kind that it seems like everyone else just gets? Well, that's what we're doing today. We're not just learning a rule, we're actually cracking a code. So let's dive in.
All right, let me ask you something right off the bat. Which one of these just sounds better in your head? A very perfect score or an absolutely perfect score? I'm guessing you probably lean towards that second one. And if you did, your intuition is totally on the money. And today, you're going to find out the why behind that feeling.
So what you just did there, that's the key to solving what I call the adjective puzzle. And the solution is actually pretty simple once you see it. There are basically two kinds of adjectives, and each type has its own special group of adverbs that it likes to hang out with.
Okay, first, I want you to picture a volume dial on an old stereo. You can turn it up or down, right? It's the same with some words. You can be a little bit angry, very angry, or extremely angry. See? The intensity is adjustable. This one simple idea is going to unlock the first type of adjective for us.
So these dial adjectives, as I'm calling them, have an official name. They're called gradable adjectives. And it makes sense, right? They exist on a grade or a scale that you can move up and down on.
So what are they really? Well, gradable adjectives describe things that aren't just a simple yes or no. They exist on a whole spectrum. Take words like big or important. Things can be a little big or really big, a little important or hugely important. There are levels. And here's the cool part. These adjectives have their own team of adverbs. Words like very, extremely, slightly. Those are the words we use to actually turn the dial on adjectives like big and important. They're the perfect partners in crime.
Think about it like this. You could say something is popular. Okay, fine. But to show just how popular it is, you grab one of those adverbs. It's hugely popular. Boom. You've just cranked that dial all the way to max.
Okay, so we've got the volume dial down. Now let's switch gears completely. I want you to forget the dial for a second and instead picture a light switch. It's simple, right? It's either on or it's off. There's no middle ground. And that's our perfect metaphor for the second type of adjective. This brings us to our second big category, non-gradable adjectives. You can probably guess what these are. There are light switch words. They represent qualities that are totally absolute.
I mean, just think about it for a sec. Can something be a little bit impossible or very unique? Of course not. It's either impossible or it isn't. It's either unique or it's not. Just like that light switch, it's an all or nothing kind of deal. And you guessed it, just like our dial adjectives, these switch adjectives have their own squad of adverbs. But words like absolutely or completely, they don't change the level of the adjective. They can't. Instead, they just kinda slam the light switch on with more force. They emphasize that it is totally 100% in the on state.
So when you say something was absolutely superb, you aren't making it more superb. That's impossible. All you're doing is hitting that switch with a bit of oomph. You're confirming it is 100% unequivocally on. It was just superb.
Okay, so dials and switches, gradable and non-gradable. Seems simple enough, right? But you know English. It always has a few tricks up its sleeve. There's this little group of adverbs that are like a master key. They seem to open both types of locks. Check this out. Adverbs like pretty and really, they seem to work with both types. You can say, it's a pretty important exam. That's a dial word. But you can also say, the flooding was really terrible, and that's a switch word. They're the ultimate rule benders. But, and this is a big but, there's a catch. Even this master key doesn't work on every single door. There's one specific, kind of weird exception you've got to know about. And here it is, the word fairly. For some reason, it just doesn't play nice with those super strong absolute adjectives, the ones that mean things like perfect or essential. Think about it. Really perfect sounds okay. Pretty perfect, yeah, that works. But fairly perfect? It just sounds wrong, doesn't it? Same thing with essential. It's a subtle little rule, but it's a big deal for sounding natural. Okay, so you've seen all the puzzle pieces. You know about dials, you know about switches, you even know about the tricky master keys. Now it's your turn to put it all together. Let's see if you can crack the code with a couple of quick-fire challenges.
All right, first one's up. The food was blank excellent. Should you fill in that blank with absolutely or very? The secret is in the adjective. Is excellent a dial you can turn up, or is it a switch?
And the answer is
Absolutely. You got it. Excellent is one of those switch adjectives. It's non-gradable. Something is either excellent or it's not. You can't be very excellent. So you need that adverb that just emphasizes its total on state.
Okay, ready for another one? How about this? Until last year, the club was blank male. Do we go with extremely or exclusively?
The right word here is exclusively. Now this is a really good one because male is what we call a classifying adjective. It just puts something in a category. So it's another kind of switch, right? You can't be extremely male. That doesn't make sense. But a club's membership can be exclusively male. See the difference?
And really, that's the whole thing. It boils down to a super simple 3-step code. Step 1, find the adjective. Step 2, ask yourself, is this a dial or is it a switch? And step 3, just match the adverb to the right type. That is it. You've officially cracked the grammar code.
And this is why this stuff is so cool. It shows that grammar isn't really about memorizing a bunch of boring rules. It's about seeing the patterns, the logic that's hidden just underneath the surface. So I'll leave you with this question. Now that you have this code, what other unwritten rules, what other hidden patterns are you going to start noticing in the English you hear all around you, every single day?